If I would have known how much work it was going to be, I don't know if I would have done it. About a month ago, I decided I was going to do my very first launch. I'm building a Bible study experience that's not just something you watch, it's something you physically create while you learn. This month's theme is the Lord's Prayer. So here's how it'll work. There are 4 weeks of Bible study content. Each week will go like this. First, there'll be a teaching video where we'll discuss a few scriptures within the Lord's Prayer.
So the same verse, when it talks about forgiving others, it's the same kind of thing. It changes our heart when we carry around that unforgiveness. And God wants our whole heart. He doesn't want part of it. Give us his heart in pieces. He loves with everything he has. And he wants us to love the same way. But we cannot do that if we have unforgiveness towards someone.
Then there'll be a practice video. This video is designed to show you what to do during the crafts for the week.
I'm just going to do one for you to be able to see. So this is the pink one. I recommend using the double-sided tape for these or glue, just because you have to write on the back, right? Because for the activation as you pray, if you hear anything from the Lord.
Then there are several craft activities, all related to what we've studied that week, so that you have hands-on experience studying the scriptures and making sure that what you learn actually changes your life. So once it's all said and done, we're looking at over 12 different craft experiences, different worksheets, videos to watch, plus a custom Bible study tote. So the idea sounds amazing, but if I would have known how much work it was going to be to actually pull it off, I don't know if this would have been the product I released. I probably would have dumbed it down to something a lot easier to attain, a lot quicker to produce, but I'm so glad I didn't. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you along on the journey of creating 4 custom folders, one for each week that'll house all of the crafting activities, worksheets, and so on. So let's get started. One of the reasons why creating this experience was so much work is because everything is handmade. So the folders are not just, some folders that I got off the shelf somewhere. They are hand created. So you can see I have chipboard and I have created the covers. And so essentially what I'm doing is I am adding a design to the front and back of a piece of chipboard and then adding another piece of clear film to make a folder. What was important to me with this experience is that it truly be an experience. Every single item in the kit, everything that you touch, everything that you interact with, I wanted it to be an experience. So I didn't want to just have a box full of just random things that you could find anywhere. I wanted everything to be unique, but I also wanted it to feel very luxurious and special. So the paper is very high quality paper. It has a shimmer and a shine to it. And so even the paper that the cover of the folder is made out of, even the inside of it, when you can only see it when you open the folder up, but every time you open it up, it's just a very shiny, beautiful, luxurious paper. And then the folder is just embellished. And so it's just everything in the experience I want to actually be an experience. And so I'm being very deliberate about putting care into making sure that every item is handmade and that it is unique and that it's different, because I really wanted every item to be something that just took your breath away. As I was thinking back to my life several years ago when I was still in the toxic marriage that I was in, I remember that I had taken my daughter to the park. She was about 3 at the time, and that was, my happy place. On the weekends, I would take her to the park and push her on the swing. And that particular day, I was just staring off into space, thinking about the millions of things that I had to do and just all of the responsibility I had on my shoulders and just how toxic and just depressing my life was. And in mid-thought, my daughter asked me, "Mommy, are you happy?" And I remember back to that day that I did not tell her the truth. I was not happy. I was absolutely miserable. I was in a toxic marriage, and I was not living the life that God had planned for me. Even though I was a believer and I loved God, I did not understand the concept of toxic marriage. I thought I was in a marriage that God put together, and I couldn't understand why I was so miserable in it and why it was draining me. But I made a vow that day to myself and to my daughter that I would be happy. I would, be the kind of mom that could answer that question truthfully. And so when I was developing this experience, that is the message that the Father kept speaking to my soul, was to do what brought me joy. And creating this experience brought me so much joy. It was so calming, it was so peaceful, and it really just brought me back to a time when I was just walking in my calling and doing what God had called me to do. And so creating this experience just brought me back to that promise that I made to myself and to her, that I would be happy. And this brought me joy. This brought me to a place of happiness that I have not been to in a very long time. So it is my prayer that as you interact with this Bible study experience, that you will truly feel the same joy that I felt creating it, and that you will have that same opportunity to commune with God and fellowship with Him and have Him restore the joy to your soul. 4 folders. Don't mind this one. This one was the original design, but I have changed it since. So we'll have one for week 1, and then week 2 and week 3, and then this is the one for week 4. And so each folder will have craft activities and Bible study worksheets for that week. And so we are going to continue on with what goes in these folders, but I wanted to show you guys how it looks. So you got your jewels up here. This is the design, and then the back is so cute. This is clear, so you'll be able to see what's in these folders from the outside. And then I have like a little adhesive, little gel adhesive, so that this can easily open and close. And then it'll open up like this, and you can put all of your items in there. So you guys can see I have a little bit of the tissue paper in here now that I was just playing with, but basically it'll be something in the bottom, tissue paper or something, and then all 4 of the folders come in here, and then there'll be one that will have the purse in here, but we are holding off on the purse right now because we got some issues we have to fix. So that's going to be really nice. And then we also have other things in here. There'll be a Bible and some other things. So we'll keep on working on the items that go inside in the next video, but so far this is starting to come together. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This product is actually live now. If you'd like to purchase it, the link is in the description. Until next week, I'll continue showing you more behind the scenes footage. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. God bless you on your journey to freedom.